The Champions League draw for the semi-finals happens tomorrow. Tomorrow at 12 noon, and it's looking good so far that I might get to leave at work early, but we can never tempt fate, and I hope to be able to watch it live. Whether I do a live stream or not, I'm not sure. I don't know if I'll be able to, but I will try my best. If not, I'll do a reactionary video after the draw. But what I wanted to look at today, first of all, if you are liking my content and you maybe stumbled across me, just hit that subscribe button, like the video, and just get some comments in as well, even if you've just seen the title of this video, and just let me know any thoughts ahead of the semi-final draw, the semi-final teams, everybody that's involved, and what you think is going to happen, who do you think is going to draw who. That is exactly what I want to come into now. We have got 4 class teams in this semi-final: Liverpool, Roma, Real Madrid and Bayern Munich. 4 teams of differing qualities and differing histories in the Champions League itself. Obviously, we haven't been in this stage of the Champions League since it's 10 years, 2008. We haven't been here in a very, very long time. Real Madrid, reigning kings of European football right now. They won it back to back twice. That's unprecedented in recent times. You've obviously got Bayern Munich, who are a hell of a team, very, very strong team, and Roma, this team that has literally risen from what looked like definite being left out, being knocked out by Barcelona. It looked like they were absolutely dead set on being knocked out, and they came back and they knocked Barcelona out as well. Barcelona, an absolute powerhouse with, in my opinion, the best player in the history of football, Lionel Messi. They couldn't do it. Roma came out and did it. They did it as a team. They did it as a unit, and they absolutely, deservedly knocked out Barcelona. We've all come through our battles here. In my opinion, I think maybe Bayern Munich, they've had an awkward tie against Sevilla, but we've come through our battles. We have come through our battles. I think in some ways we've maybe come out of this one, the quarterfinals, looking like the better team out of the ones that have qualified, purely because we won our first leg 3-0 at Anfield. We beat Manchester City 2-1 at the Etihad after one hell of a defensive performance in that first half. Regardless of what people say, Manchester City had a hell of a lot of chances in that first half in the second leg at the Etihad. But let's have it right. I was watching some Redmen TV analysis by, I think it was Chris, and literally the one thing that stood out for me there: take all of Manchester City's chances that they had against us, all the goals, the shots that they had against us, 3 on target the entire game. We had 5 on we had 5 shots in total, 3 on target the whole game. We had exactly the same shots on target throughout the whole game. That puts it into perspective that yes, we were much more clinical than they were, and our defence stood tall. It stood strong. It didn't stand strong against Gabriel Jesus. We gave them that. We absolutely gave them that. Literally served it up on a platter for them. We gave them that goal. We did. We invited all of that pressure on ourselves. We came out in the second half. We changed things. Changed the positional play, the likes of Salah. Changed, the support system that James Milner and Oxlade-Chamberlain were giving to our left back and right back, and giving to the defence as well. We absolutely changed everything. Tactical. It was brilliant. It was a very good tactical switch. Putting Salah up front, having someone like Firmino, who as a centre forward tracks back, but trying to get, maybe Salah, we were maybe wasting him on the right hand side, having to come back and track back. So instead he flips the script. Sadio Mane comes down the right hand side, Firmino's coming down the left hand side, and they're both tracking back. Salah can stay up front, and they were getting the balls into him. They were able to actually create more threats, and we came through a battle there. We came through it, and it looked like a very good, convincing performance. We come out 5-1 on aggregate. Let's have a look at some of the other ones. Roma, they were 4-1 down. 4-1 down, but they got that vital away goal. That is what they got, because they won this tie 3-0. They won this tie 3-0. Barcelona did not dominate possession like they normally do. I think it was split 55-45 in Barcelona's favour. That's not usual Barcelona. Normally Barcelona, if you're coming up against Barcelona, you generally know, right, we're probably going to concede 65-70% possession in this game. It's what we do with our possession is what counts. Roma took that away from them. There was something like Barcelona had 5 shots all game, and maybe 2 on target. Roma had about 17 shots and about 8 on target. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. They absolutely flipped the script on Barcelona, and they deserved to go through in the manner that they went through, because it looked like, only looking at highlights as well, haven't looked at the whole game, but it did look like that Barcelona just were not up for it. They weren't prepared for it. That they thought it was all done in the first leg. You cannot do that in these games at all. You cannot do that in these games. And then Real Madrid, Juventus almost did the same thing. 3-0 down. Real Madrid absolutely hammered them in the first leg. And it looked like that tie was all dead and buried. Speaking to friends of mine at work and stuff like that, and we're just like, yeah, Real Madrid probably definitely going through. You know, look, they looked absolutely clinical, really, really good. Coming to this game, Juventus, they go 3-0 up, and it's 3-3. It looks like it's going to extra time. Looks like it's going into extra time. Ronaldo headers the ball into the path of, I don't even remember who it was that got the ball, but Benatia came in, tackled the player, tackled him from such a bad angle, such a wrong angle, sent off Gigi Buffon, which is, you know, it's gutting from, if you're looking at it from like a personal point of view. Buffon is always one of these guys that he's a mainstay of Italian football. He's a mainstay of football in general, European football. And it was sad to see, possibly, most likely, his last ever Champions League game getting sent off. You know, gives the penalties being given away. He doesn't have an opportunity to save it. Cristiano Ronaldo steps up, gets the away goal, makes it 4-3, and it is in like the 96th minute or something like that. It was impossible for Juventus to bring that one back, but they fought as well, and they made Real Madrid, they showed the weaknesses that they do have. They absolutely showed the weaknesses that they do have. And then we come on to obviously Bayern Munich and Sevilla. I still feel that Bayern Munich got very lucky in the first leg with the mistakes that Sevilla made. I think one of them was a deflected goal off Jesus Navas or something like that. So coming into the second leg, there were no goals, and it was just basically just they'd won it in the first leg, but I still think that they kind of scraped it a little bit. They dominated the possession against Sevilla. Sevilla caused problems. They just didn't have it in the final third, like they have done against like Man United and such like that as well. And they did obviously score against Bayern Munich as well. So I mean, they had their threats. It just wasn't enough. So when I'm coming to look at this and I'm looking at who do I want Liverpool to face next, a lot of people online are saying, let's have Roma in the semi-finals and then let's have Real Madrid in the final. I don't relate to that the same way that other people are, because obviously they're saying the final, it's one game, we can take anybody in one game. I'm of the belief that we can take anybody over 2 legs. Because everybody was writing us off against Man City. We'd beaten Man City, we'd beaten them 4-3 in the league. They'd beaten us 5-0 at their ground, and people were like, oh, Man City, Liverpool, they've drawn it at Anfield first, and the second leg's going to be absolutely vital. We showed that we can do it over 2 legs, that European football is different for us. The reason that I want to go for Real Madrid or Bayern Munich in the semi-final, and then whoever else you come up against in the final, it is who it is. It is who it is. If it end, for me personally, I'm going to give you my thought right now. I think tomorrow's draw is going to end up being Liverpool versus Real Madrid and Bayern Munich versus Roma. If that happens, I think Roma would be able to beat Bayern Munich because they are defensively much more solid than Sevilla, and they will cause a lot more threats attacking wise than I think Sevilla could as well. Edin Dzeko, he's been absolutely fun. He's been brilliant for Roma. I think he's got something like 20 goals or something like that in the league, and in combined in Champions League as well. He scores goals, and they do look a threat going forward. I think they would cause more problems than Sevilla did for Bayern Munich. At the same time, you've got to look at whoever gets Real Madrid, that first leg, they're now going to be missing Sergio Ramos. And they're going to be missing Sergio Ramos because he came down to the touchline or the touchline area last night against Juventus to watch the game and was quite clearly on camera. You could see him. He's gesturing. He's wanting his team to get, to progress. It was 3-3 at this point. He's gesturing, gesticulating. He was absolutely all over the place and like raising his hands, shouting and everything like that. You're not allowed to be there, okay? You are suspended. You are not allowed to be anywhere near the pitch. And he was there, like, round the tunnel entrance bit. And so that is apparently automatically a one-match ban. Whether it's any more than that, who knows? It probably won't be. But whoever gets Real Madrid, they're going to be missing Sergio Ramos for that first leg. He'll be back for the second leg. So you've got to think, people are going to be looking at that and thinking, Juventus got at them. Why? Juventus were able to get at Real Madrid because Ramos is such a big leader for Real Madrid. He's rated as one of the best defenders in the world. And I don't think he is one of the best defenders, but I think he's one of the best leaders. And I think when he's in that defence, he makes that defence better more often than not, especially in Champions League competition. So if they're missing him for the first leg, okay, you saw what Juventus did. Juventus don't have... Alright, they've got Douglas Costa, they've got Juan Cuadrado, they've got fast technical players, but they don't necessarily have the sheer threat of someone like a Mo Salah, like a Sadio Mane. Nobody in the world has a Roberto Firmino either. Nobody. We have that. Nobody has someone as unique as a Firmino, and the role that he plays, not just in that front three, but also linking to the midfield as well. We would create threats. Now, don't get me wrong, I am absolutely not discounting Real Madrid's attack. When you've got a player like Cristiano Ronaldo who hits ridiculous numbers of goals per season, we have Mo Salah, who is unbelievable. He is absolutely magnificent this season. And as much as I'm not a fan of Ronaldo the person, Ronaldo the footballer, unbelievable. I've never liked his attitude on the pitch. But Ronaldo the player, you can never discount. I think the stat that I've just read when I've just been doing a little bit of reading is something like in his last 14 games he's got 25 goals. Last 14 games he's got 25 goals. So he's starting to hit his form, he's starting to hit his peak right now. And also he's been doing this season in, season out for God knows how long now. Pretty much the last decade. He's been doing these ridiculous numbers of goals. He has more goals for Real Madrid than he has games. And that is ridiculous in itself. So I am absolutely not discounting the threat that Real Madrid will pose. Absolutely not. Not just Ronaldo. When you've got the likes of Isco, Asensio as well. Gareth Bale on his day, although it wasn't yesterday. And he got pulled off, I think, for one of the two of... Isco or Asensio, I might have that substitution wrong. They've got world-class midfielders, Modric, Toni Kroos. When they've got Marcelo as well, they've got world-class players in most of the positions. Absolutely. They've got proven people in their team year in, year out. You don't win the Champions League back-to-back, and three out of the four seasons that have just been, you don't win it that often if you're not a damn good team with damn good players. And I am absolutely not discounting the fact that Real Madrid are a fantastic team and they've got fantastic players. Alright, they might not be doing it in La Liga right now. I think they're maybe 4th or 3rd or something. Not entirely sure. But Europe is their game. They are the kings of Europe for a reason. They are absolutely the kings of Europe for a reason. But I would still want to face them. I really would. Because I still think we will be able to do damage with our forwards. We'll be able to drive through the midfield. Alright, hey, that midfield battle is going to be ridiculous. Because you've got to look at the names that you'd use as well. You got Toni Kroos, Modric, Casemiro, people like that, Asensio that are going to come in. People know these players so well. Whether they're an actual, like, like, I don't mean actual fan when I say this, whether they like actually watch football, they're passionate about it, they watch the Champions League, they watch European games, everything like that, they watch La Liga, or whether they're a FIFA player and stuff like that as well. They know these players, all right? And so when people are going to match them up and they're going to go, so it's going to be Toni Kroos, Modric, etc., against like Jordan Henderson, Wijnaldum, Milner, Oxlade-Chamberlain, people are going to look at it like it's a complete mismatch. Wouldn't be that way, I don't think. I think it would be one of the most... I do think it would be one of the most electrifying games in European football, Liverpool versus Real Madrid. This isn't going to be, in my opinion, like when we came up against Real Madrid a few years ago in the Champions League and we were beaten 3-0 and I think it was a 0-0. And we were shown up very badly. I think there was a goal that I think Real Madrid got. I think Ronaldo dinked it over our defence and Benzema finished it off or something like that. I think that we've got a better defence right now. I think the onslaught that we faced from Manchester City the other day, I think that was absolutely something that we needed. Which sounds weird, right? But I think it was something that was needed because it shows that we can take an absolute artillery bombardment of people trying to attack us. Let's not forget, this Manchester City side that we faced have scored a hell of amount of goals. Hell of amount of goals. 5 of them against us in one game. 5 against us in one game. They absolutely destroyed us. You know, they've done this against so many teams. It just isn't clicking for them right now, but they've done it pretty much all season apart from April. Okay? So, I mean, what can I say? Even when we beat them in the league, they still scored 3 goals. You know? But we've shown that we can deal, at the moment, with world-class players. We can deal with their attack. Real Madrid is just another level. And if we're going to go through, I think regardless of what happens, one way or another, you're going to face Real Madrid. That's how it's going to be. Whoever you get in the semi-finals, if we don't draw Real Madrid, they're probably going to be in the final. That's how I look at it. I think that Bayern Munich would have the best chance, apart from maybe us, at beating Real Madrid in a semi-final. But even then, it's difficult. So I think whoever doesn't draw Real Madrid, so say however it goes, I think that we would, say if we draw Bayern Munich or Roma, and then whoever else is facing Real Madrid will probably go through. I just think over 2 legs, we would, out of the teams that are there, Bayern Munich and Roma, I personally feel that we would have the better chance over 2 legs of beating Real Madrid, which sounds ridiculous. And I know some people might turn around and just be like, you are absolutely crazy. I do. I think over 2 legs, we would have a better chance of beating Real Madrid than we would in one singular game. In one singular game, out of, say, Bayern Munich and Roma, and say, I believe that Roma could get through, how unreal would it be to have a Roma-Liverpool final? That'd be ridiculous. But even if it ended up the other way, and it ended up as like a Liverpool-Bayern Munich final, I still think that we could take that. I really do. I have so much belief in this Liverpool squad right now. Don't get me wrong. I'm still nervous about us when we, about what can happen here. I'm still nervous about every single game that we play. I'm still going to be nervous when we come up against Bournemouth at the weekend, when we come up against West Brom the week after that. I am still going to be nervous. Very, very nervous. But I still believe that we can do the job. I do. I firmly believe, regardless of who we draw, we can go further than the semi-finals. We can do it. We've shown that we have the ability to do it. We can attack teams. We can defend well. We've shown we can do it. All we got to do is we have to go and do it. So, in my opinion, my prediction is not... My prediction is not gospel. My prediction is just my thoughts. I believe it's going to be Real Madrid versus Liverpool. We have the away leg first, and then it's Anfield next. And then I think it's going to be Bayern Munich versus Roma. That's just how I see it. And we've got to wait until tomorrow to see what happens. Let me know what your predictions are, though, and who would you prefer? Who would you prefer to face in the semi-finals? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you ever so much for sticking with this video. It's a longer video than I wanted it to be, but there's a lot to talk about. There's a lot, there's a lot of talking points. There's a lot of variables in this one, and I wanted to cover them all. So thank you for sticking with me if you have so far. Like the video, subscribe if you're new around here. Do get your comments in the comments below if you can, please. And thank you ever so much for watching as always, and I will catch you later.